On March the 30th, next week, we'll be getting the return of the April Fools event. Now, this time around, it's going to have some updated rewards. You'll still have access to the dungeon, Sewermost Fowl, where you all run around as chickens. You have the different types of chickens, and you have special ones that for AoE damage for single target, a tanking one and a healing one, so on. And then you have 3 different boss fights in this little dungeon. And then on top of that, you have chicken PvP, where you have a domination map. It's 5v5. Again, you can choose any of the chicken types you want. So everybody could run healers, everybody could run tank chickens, and so on. And overall, it's pretty balanced because there's like no pay to win or everything. Everybody has exactly the same chicken and your gear doesn't affect it at all. Great fun just running this PvP. Now, what's very nice to see is the introduction of some new rewards. We can read through the dev blog again. It's just a post there. You can see starting Thursday the March 30th, ending Thursday April the 13th. So we have 2 weeks of the event. But very nice this year, we shall be able to obtain the Gilded Goose. This will be a new mount, and most important to note, it has 4 Insignia Slots. Yes, a green mount on 4 Insignia Slots. I didn't think they'd do it, to be honest. I thought they would lock them behind like mythic mounts, but here you go. They will be introducing like new mounts, even on green, that you could easily obtain to get these new Insignia bonus sets. However, it's a green mount and we are locked behind having to use a barb, enlightened, and then we do have a universal slot with a preferred of crescent. This means you should only be able to use one of the new insignia bonuses when module 25 goes live, which will be March the 28th. So that will be before this event comes around. You'll only be able to use Master's Precision. When your stamina is between 25% and 75%, you gain 5,000 critical strike. I'm sure some people can make use of that, but I would assume you can go and use 3 slot insignia bonuses, but they will require you to have like 2 enlightened and a universal, or a barbed and an enlightened and a universal, as long as it's not a crescent. But I can't guarantee that. I shall be able to see if it will work like that when the new mount comes out, which is going to be the Ebon Riding Lizard. That comes out with the new lockbox on next Tuesday. And thus, we may be able to use some of our older insignia bonuses, like Assassin's Covenant, if it has 2 enlightens and then a regal. And you could then go, yeah, have the 2 enlightens there and the regal, and then have the barbed. And that should give you Assassin's Covenant. It could work like that. Not entirely sure. Same story with like Champion's Return there, and I'm sure there's a few others as well. And you won't have to upgrade the mount or anything to make use of that, unless you want to use a collar next to it. Because in order to use the mount on our tray here, and it has to have the same quality as the collar, or the collar just isn't made any use of. You can see there, like I would need a green collar to match that. So we have to have, like, if you have mythic collars, you have to have mythic mounts. And I think most people only have like purple mounts. I know I don't have all mythic collars on the live server. This is preview server. I'm mainly using purple collars and maybe 1 or 2 legendary and 1 mythic. So that shouldn't be too much of a big deal, but that means you will have to upgrade it from green all the way to purple at least to make use of the insignia bonuses, which the cost of that would be, you can see, 50 to blue, and then to purple it's 100. So it would be 150 to get to purple. So keep that in mind. And yeah, otherwise very nice to see. I actually like the look of the mount. For me, it's not as derpy as the chicken running around. I mean, that's probably because they put a nice gilded saddle and so on. Otherwise, it's just going to have the same blast power as we see all the time with explosive equalizer. That's this one right here. Yeah, you just blast out to all your enemies and deal some damage in an area. Nothing special, and otherwise equip power, combat advantage can be useful. Again, you have the Fight of the Fowls, PvP, they talk about that a bit. Here's your domination map, and you will be able to actually have the Necromancer chicken type this time around. They removed it last year, not sure, probably from some bug, but you have to play the basic chicken, the white chicken, and get a chance when you use your daily power to get that. Now we can also see, on top of obtaining the Gilded Goose, there will be a Giddy Gooseling vanity pet, just add to your collection I guess, but also an artifact set to go with the artifact we've had in the past. We were able to obtain the Ring of Foul Weather. You'll now be able to obtain the Locket of Most Foul and the Belt of the Foul. And you can see you can combine them to create a set, Call a Fowl. And Call a Fowl will just have you a 10% chance to summon an enlarged chicken to attack your target for 125 magnitude, and then a 20-second cooldown before that could happen again. Don't see it as in any way great, but it is what it is. I guess it's just there for maybe really new players who don't have a set yet, and you could partake in this event and obtain it. But in order to complete that set, you will need the Ring of Foul Weather, and so you will have to go and do your Sewermost Foul, where you beat up the bosses and you beat up like the last guy here. And you have a chance to get that artifact from this chest, on top of the ability to just buy the artifact, I believe, but it'll be bound when you buy it. You will be able to unbind it like I did here and upgrade it to Mythic. And it is pretty useful to use in an AoE fight. I would recommend it for tanks to have it, and maybe healers as well, just because it has a vortex ability which pulls enemies together. I'll showcase that here. We have some illusions here, and let's say we cast our artifact on this guy. There you go, and it sucks them all together and they get grouped up, and then you'll be able to kill them much easier, hit them all together much easier with AoE powers. But that's about it. That's going to be new with the April Fowls event. You can read through a bunch of other items you can obtain here from just partaking. You'll still be able to obtain the zombie chicken mount if you wanted to, Ring of Foul Weather, so on. And then there'll be a bunch of stuff that they've moved to the Zen market, like the enlarged chicken, Earl the Chickenmancer, and a stick chicken, and then some eggs to get some currency for the event if you don't want to farm it at all. And that's really about it. They do have another blog post which goes over the Sewermost Foul, not much in it. They just talk a little bit about how, yeah, you'll be facing off these bosses, attacking ads, which are all chickens, and you're a chicken, and it's all great fun. Pretty decent event. Nice to see they're continuing to update the rewards. Every year there's been like a new mount. And again, we will be able to obtain this Gilded Goose with 4 Insignia slots. Again, keep in mind that the preferred Insignia slot, the insignia you put in there will gain a 20% boost to its item level. So it should have 600 item level instead of the normal 500. That'll just add to your character's power then. Not a lot, but something to consider if you're min-maxing. Especially on a DPS, if you can fit a Assassin's Covenant on there still, could be very useful. And also then the new Master's Precision, if you really want to make a build around that. I personally don't. Special thank you again to these channel members for their added support. And we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.